Welcome children. Take out your geography book. Chapter 7 India, Location, Political Divisions and Physiography. Today's topic is the Northern Mountain. The Himachal or the Lesser Himalayan Range lies to the south of the Himadri Range. Now, Himachal is also called the Lesser Himalayan Range. It lies to the south of the Himadri Range. The average altitude of the peaks varies differently 1500 to 3000 meter, with some peaks rising to 5000 meter. Now, average altitude of the peak varies for it, that is 1500 meter and 3000 meter, with some peaks it rises to 5000 meter. Pir Panjal range in Kashmir and Dhauladhar range in Himachal Pradesh are parts of Himalayan range. Now, Pir Panjal range, that is in Kashmir, and Dhauladhar range, it is in Himachal Pradesh. These are the parts of Himachal range. The Kashmir valley lies between the Greater Himalayas to the north and the Pir Panjal range to the south. Now, Greater Kashmir valley, where it lies? It lies between the Greater Himalayas in the north and Pir Panjal range to the south. Some of the famous hill stations such as Darjeeling, Mussoorie, Manali, Nainital and Shimla are located in the Himachal range. Now, some of the famous hill stations, that is Darjeeling, Mussoorie, Manali, Nainital, Shimla, where it is located? It is located in the Himachal range. Thus, these hill stations are easily accessible and attract a lot of them. These hill stations, what are they? They are easily accessible and they attract a lot of tourists. The Shivalik or the outer Himalayan range is the southernmost range of the Himalaya. Now, Shivalik range, it is also called the outer Himalayan range. It is the southernmost range of the Himalayan. It forms the foothills of the Himalayas and has an altitude of less than 1500 meters. Now, what forms? It forms the foothills. It forms the foothills of the Himalaya, and the height of here is less than 1500 meter. The hill of this range are narrow, discontinuous and merge with the other range. Now, hill of this range is a narrow, they are discontinuous and they merge. It is mixed with the other ranges. These are made up of unconsolidated rock. Now, what are they made up of? They are made up of unconsolidated rock. These hills are well developed in the western part of the Himalaya. Where they are developed? They are well developed in the western part of the Himalaya. Between the Shivalik and the Himachal lie narrow valleys called the. Now, between the Shivalik and the Himachal, where it lies the narrow valleys which are called the Dun. The Dehradun Valley is a good example of such. Now, Dehradun Valley, what it is? It is a good example of such valley. At the foothills of the Shivalik lies a densely forested and marshy region called Terai. Now, at the foothills of the Shivalik, what it lies? It lies a very dense forest and even a marshy region which is called the Terai. Beyond the Brahmaputra Valley, a mountain range continues along the India's borders with Myanmar. Now, beyond the Brahmaputra Valley, there is a mountain range. It continues its along the India border with Myanmar. These mountains are called the Purvachal or Eastern Hills. Now, these mountains, what are they called? They are called the Purvachal, they are called the Eastern Hills. The average elevation is less than 3000 meter and the average height, it is less than 3000 meter. The hills are known by many local names. Now, these hills, they are known by many local names. These are called the Patkai Boom and Naga Hills. What are they called? They are called Patkai Booms and the Naga Hills in the north. In the south, these are known as the Manipur, Lusai and Mizo Hills, and in the south, these hills are called the Manipur, Lusai and Mizo Hills. In Meghalaya, these are called the Garo, Khasi and Jantia, and in Meghalaya, these hills are called the Garo, Khasi and Jantia. They confront the monsoon winds rising from the Bay of Bengal and confronts this monsoon wind which rises from the Bay of Bengal. The Karakoram mountains in Ladakh are located north of the Himalaya. Now, to the north of the Himalayas lies the Karakoram mountains in Ladakh. The Karakoram range extends from the Pamir Plateau in the north, and towards the north lies the Pamir Plateau. The world's second peak, K2, is located in the now. K2, which is the world's second peak, it is also located in this range. In terms of height, this peak is next only to mountain. In terms of height, this peak, it is It comes after Mount Everest. The Karakoram range has many other lofty peaks, large snowfields and glaciers such as Siachen Glacier. Now Karakoram range, what it has? It has many lofty peaks, large snowfields, glacier, that is such as Siachen glaciers are also present here. Now northern plains. Northern plains, that is northern plains, are a relatively flat lowland with an elevation of less than 300 meter above the sea. Northern plains, actually they are flat lowland and its height is less than 300 meter above sea level. These plains lies between the northern mountains and the peninsula plateau. Now this place where it lies between the northern mountains and the peninsula plateau in the south. These plains are formed by the deposition of alluvium by rivers flowing from the northern mountains and the peninsula. Now these plains, how they are formed? They are formed by the river deposition of the alluvium by the river which flows from the northern mountains and the peninsula plateau. The alluvial deposits are hundreds of meters in thickness and form fertile. Now alluvial deposits, what are they? They are hundreds of meters thick and they form fertile soil. These plains extend from a distance of about 2500 km from the Punjab in the west to Brahmaputra Valley in the these plains, it extends distance of 2500 km from the Punjab in the west to Brahmaputra Valley in the east. The northern plains are divided into three subdivisions. Now this northern plain, they are divided into three subdivisions, that is the Indus plain, the Ganga plains and the Brahmaputra plain. The Indus is a long river that rises in Tibet beyond the Himalaya. Indus is what? It is a long river, it rises in Tibet beyond the Himalaya. A greater part of the Indus basin is greater part of Indus basin, it falls in Pakistan. The Jhelum, the Chenab, the Bias, the Rabis and the Satluj are the major tributaries of. Now what are the main tributaries of Indus? That is Jhelum, Chenab, Rabi, Bias and Satluj. These are the major tributaries of the Indus. The Jhelum and Chenab flow through Jammu and Kashmir. Now through Jammu and Kashmir flows Jhelum and Chenab. The Rabi, the Bias and Satluj flows through Punjab Haryana. And through Punjab Haryana plains flows the Rabi, the Bias and the Satluj river. Low watershed separates these plains from the Ganga. A low watershed, this separates the plains from the Ganga plain. Ganga plain forms the largest lowland in India. The Ganga plain, it forms the largest lowland in India and is drained by the Ganga to the and distributed, and it is drained by Ganga and distributed. The Yamuna is the most important tributary of the Ganga, and Yamuna, it is the most important tributary of Ganga. Both the Ganga and the Yamuna originate in the Himalaya. Now Ganga and Yamuna both originate from the Himalayan range. The Ghagra, the Gandak, the Kosi and the Tista are the other Himalayan tributaries of the Ganga. Now Ghagra, the Gandak, the Kosi and Tista, they are other Himalayan tributaries of the Ganga. The Chambal and the Betwa are the tributaries of Yamuna. Chambal and Betwa, these two rivers, they are the tributaries of Yamuna. The Ganga plain have an extremely gentle slope. The Ganga are gentle slope. Ganga plains, it has an extremely gentle slope. The rivers slowly flows through many mountains. Now rivers, from where it flows through many rivers. Parts of the plain are subjected to floods in the rain. Now some parts of this plain, they are subjected to floodplains during the rainy season. In the lower coast, the Ganga divides itself into distributaries to form a delta along the Brahmaputra. Now in the lower coast, the Ganga divides itself into distributaries and forms a delta along the Brahmaputra. The Ganga-Brahmaputra delta is the largest delta. The Ganga-Brahmaputra delta, it is the largest delta in the world. The major part of the delta is in Bangladesh, and the major part of delta, it lies in Bangladesh, and only a small area of the delta lies in, and only a small part of the delta, it lies in West Bengal. The seaward face of the delta has many river channels and islands. Now seaward face of the delta, it has many river channels and islands. The Brahmaputra Valley is a relatively narrow lowland extending from for a length of about 700 km. Now Brahmaputra Valley, it is a relatively narrow lowland. It extends for a length of about 700 km and the width of less than 100, and its widthness is less than 100 km. The lowland consists of alluvial deposits laid down by the Brahmaputra and now lowland here alluvial deposits are found, and these alluvial deposits are laid down by the Brahmaputra river and its route. The Brahmaputra originates in Tibet, where it is known as Sangpo. Now Brahmaputra, where it originates in Tibet and it is known as Sangpo. The river flows eastward for a considerable distance in Tibet. Now this river, they flow eastward and had a considerable distance in Tibet. It then runs southwards and westwards and flow through Assam. Then it runs southwards and westwards and flow through Assam. The Brahmaputra joins the Ganga and combined river flows through Bangladesh and Padma. Now the Brahmaputra, it joins Ganga and then combined river flows through Bangladesh as the Padma river. Now Peninsula Plateau. The Peninsula Plateau has a triangular shape and covers nearly half of the area of India. The plateau form, the Peninsula Plateau, it has a triangular shape and covers half of the area in India. The Peninsula Plateau, the most stable and the oldest part of the country and consists of ancient igneous rock and metal. This part, it is the most stable and the oldest part of the country, and it is made up of ancient igneous and the metamorphic rocks. The plateau has an undulating surface with relatively gentle slope owing to denudation by rivers for the millions. Now this plateau, it has a very undulating surface and gentle slope due to denudation by the rivers for millions of years. The plateau is divided into two major divisions. This plateau, it is divided into two major divisions. The Malwa Plateau lies to the northern west and the Deccan Plateau is the south. Malwa Plateau, it lies to the northwest, while the Deccan Plateau, it lies to the south. The Vindhya Range forms the boundary between the two plateaus. The Vindhya Range, it forms the boundary between the two plateaus. The Chota Nagpur Plateau marks the eastern limits of the Chota Nagpur Plateau, it marks the eastern limit of the Peninsula Plateau. This region is drained by the river and the tributaries of the Ganga. Now this region, it is drained by the river and that are the tributaries of Ganga and the Yamuna. The Aravali Range, which is one of the oldest mountain range of the world, forms the western limit of the Malwa Plateau. Now Aravali Range, it is one of the oldest mountain range of the world and it forms the western limit of the Malwa Plateau. The Deccan Plateau includes the area to the south of the Vindhya. Now Deccan Plateau, it includes the area up to south of the Vindhya. The western edge of the plateau steeply rises from the Arabian to form the western. Now western edge of the plateau, it rises steeply from the Arabian Sea and forms the Western Ghat. The hill ranges are called the Sahyadri in the north and the Nilgiri, the Annamalai and the Cardamom hills in the south. Now hill ranges, they are called the Sahyadri in the north, they are called Sahyadri, the Nilgiri and the Annamalai and the Cardamom hills in the south. The Western Ghat extends continuously up to Kanyakumari. Now, Western Ghat, it extends continuously up to Kanyakumari. Annamalai in the Annamalai hill is the highest peak in the western. Annamudi, the Annamalai hill, it is the highest peak of the Western Ghat. Now, revise this chapter again and again. And with this, I am ending my today's class. Goodbye.